Hi, this is Mika from Gobi Coaching, and today I would like to talk about digital mindfulness. That's a topic that has been on my mind a lot in the past year especially, and I've tried to make changes and I had some help. So I personally like what Cal Newport writes about the topic. I read both his book Deep Work and his book Digital Mindfulness. I will put the information in the show notes. And a few weeks ago, I had the pleasure of attending a digital mindfulness retreat run by the wonderful Christina Maleka. I will put that information in the show notes too, because she has more retreats coming up that I can recommend. And so over time, I've built a couple of new routines that have helped me some. My problem with digital mindfulness is that I'm an all in and all out person. So I'm really good at kicking bad habits and building new habits. If it's a don't do that at all, do it all the time kind of situation. But when it comes to our digital lives and social media, what we need is moderation. And personally, I pretty much suck at moderation. So this is harder for me, but I have found a couple of ways that have helped me. And today I would like to share 5 tips for signing off a little more, especially on the phone. So tip number one, hide your phone. Out of sight, out of mind. It doesn't quite work that way, but when you think about it, we often grab our phones just because we have a split second of boredom and immediately, automatically, we grab and check the phone. So to prevent that and minimize that time we spend on the phone just for no good reason at all, I don't really hide my phone, but I put it in a place where I am not. So for me, that is the kitchen. I personally don't spend much time in my kitchen. I'm not much of a cook. So that's the best place. I charge my phone in the kitchen and it's out of sight, not really out of mind, but I have to make an effort. If I want to check my phone, I have to get up from my office, walk to the kitchen, check it there and come back. So it helps. Try it out. Number 2, turn the phone on grayscale. This is one of the most recent things I've learned, and it's fabulous. It works like a charm for me. It has actually brought the time I spend on the phone down by 30 to 60 minutes a day. So I'm at about 1 hour a day right now. Still a lot, but much better than where I started. Grayscale, you'll have to check how to do that on your phone. I have an iPhone 8, so I have to just hit the button 3 times in quick succession, and then the phone turns from color to gray, and it is so boring and it is so annoying. I mean, some things you can hardly see, but that's of course the point of it, right? Especially the notifications, the bright red numbers for emails, messages we have, that is to draw us in. And when you have that all in grayscale, it just doesn't have the same effect. So if I have to work on my phone, then of course I go back to the colors. But for most of my social media stuff, I keep it in grayscale, and then scrolling is just zero fun. So that's a very good way to try out to reduce the scrolling time. Number 3, do work sprints. So this is on the computer, not on the phone. What I do is I start at the full hour, I start a work sprint, and what that means is during the work sprint, no matter how long you decide to do it, you are at your desk, butt in the chair, no pee breaks, no grabbing tea, no answering the phone. Phone is off, messages are closed, email account is closed, and you just do the actual work that you set for that period. A very common system is to do 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. I prefer to do 45 or 50 minutes on, just working, and 10 minutes off. But you have to experiment around with that a little. People are different. I just don't like the frequent interruptions. I'd rather have a longer break after a longer work sprint. But work sprints are a great way to really get off social media, off the phone for a while, focus on what you have to do, and then during your break you can check all your messages. Number 4, schedule social media time. There are several ways to do that. What I do both on the phone and on the computer is I have a timer, and when my time is up, the app closes. So to prevent me from scrolling, I have set, let's say Instagram is set for 15 minutes. When I exceed my 15 minutes, I get a notification. When I'm working, like doing business stuff, then of course I overrule it. But for my private scrolling, I stick to it. The moment the message comes, I'm out. And you can do that for lots of websites. So that's one thing, to do the timer. The next one is to actually put social media use on your schedule and give yourself certain time periods when you check, like morning, lunch, right before dinner, right after dinner. These times I experiment with that, and sometimes it works well, but then I've fallen out of the habit right now. I think I'll go back to it eventually because it does work well. And the other tip in this area is to leave social media that really don't bring you value. Just decide for a few social media outlets that really work for you. So my favorite is Instagram. I do that. I do LinkedIn and Facebook relatively regularly, but not daily. And of course I use YouTube, but I don't use Twitter, I don't use Snapchat, Pinterest, none of those, because right now they don't give me the same value. So being everywhere is really increasing your time, right? So think about which apps, which platforms, which social media channels you can maybe do without. And tip number 5, ban devices from the bedroom. You have probably heard before that being on your phone or tablet before bed impairs your sleep and your general well-being. There are many studies into that, and they usually say at least an hour before bed you should stop being on electronic devices. E-readers are a little different because they don't have the light issue. But 1 hour to 2 hours, because actually these devices keep you awake, so it doesn't help you to fall asleep at all to scroll through your social media feed. So my rule right now is that I only have actual paper books in the bedroom. I can read a couple of pages, and sometimes I fall asleep pretty quickly, and sometimes I read a little longer because it's interesting, but it's never that strong that it would keep me from reading. It's just because it's paper and it doesn't have the light effect of electronic devices. I still have an Alexa to wake me, but the next step I guess would be to go fully analog and have an alarm clock wake me up. Of course, snoozing, I use the snooze button. So I'll have to think about that. I'm not quite there yet. Another thing, of course, you can try, especially to start and analyze where your issues are, would be to go offline for a day, to not use your phone or your laptop for an entire day. That might help you identify the best areas for you to start being a little more digital mindful. And of course, check out the books, check out Christina's website, and let me know what works for you, which tricks you have to be a little more digital mindful. If that was helpful, please leave me a like, share with your friends, and look me up on Instagram. I share life hacks there every day under Go Big Coaching. This was it for today. I am Mika, and I'm here to help you go big.